Hello and welcome back to Madman Big Finish Review, a video series where I review one of the latest Big Finish releases. I am joined by fake doctor's degree Pixel here. It's about as real as the Fugitive Doctor's memories. Or is it?
Or is it?
Or
That's
is
the
it?
question.
But speaking of the Fugitive Doctor, she's here. She's taking charge in her own Big Finish audio series, Doctor Who, the Fugitive Doctor. Most Wanted. I thought it was called the Fugitive Doctor Adventures, but it's just now the Fugitive Doctor. Can't tell on the cover because they don't put the actual series on the cover. They put it on the spine, I think, but they don't put it on the actual cover. So looking on the website, it just calls it Doctor Who, the Fugitive Doctor. Not even just the Fugitive Doctor Adventures.
Yeah. Well, they only have 2 confirmed audio sets coming out, so I don't know. Maybe they're not wanting to sell a line of adventures until they see how it does.
Yeah. So yes, the Fugitive Doctor, Most Wanted, starring Joe Martin as the Fugitive Doctor. We have 3 stories: Fast Times by Robert Valentine, The Legend of Baba Yaga by Roshana Patel, and The Dimension of Lost Things by Lisa McMullen. As usual, we are going to be spoiling things, so if you haven't listened to it,
what are you doing here? What are you doing?
Give the company your money. No questions asked. Don't worry about the quality. Just give them money. I would like a repeat of Once and Future. I really don't want a repeat of Once and Future.
I mean, we could make it a part of the show, whether or not give our full thoughts, but whether or not we recommend checking it out before we start reviewing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we won't give our own thoughts. We'll hide it behind a Patreon, so they have to give us money to get our full thoughts.
No.
I see what you're planning, and I might be interested. Profit? ?
I'm bad at earning profit.
And speaking of question mark, the Fugitive Doctor. So yes, as usual, we're going to go as spoiler-filled as possible. So you have been warned. You can't type in the comments, how dare you spoil that the TARDIS is in this. Spoilers,
What?
The TARDIS is in this. But no. What? I actually did lose my train of thought, sorry. Should we go, do you want to go episode by episode, or do you want to go like just the whole thoughts on the whole thing entire?
I think it would be more fair if we did episode by episode.
Okay, so we'll start off by Fast Times by Robert Valentine. The Doctor has been captured. Oh no! But not captured by the Time Lords, not by Division. She's captured and put in a maximum security Hulk ship before the Time Lords can arrive to imprison her. Pick up their fugitive. So, your thoughts on Fast Times?
So, I mean, how you're going to go ahead and start this off is a pretty big deal. We know that the fugitive is on the run from the Time Lords. So we hear Division go ahead and give the official order at the beginning of this. It's time to capture the Doctor. And she goes on the run. And she gets like betrayed by her agent number 9 that she was working with. And she has to go ahead and escape from that. Her escape leads her into the prison, and we get this chase adventure following it, featuring the Daleks.
Who, I'm going to be honest, did not need to be in this.
They didn't need to be in it, but
they were pointless. I'll give them props to this. They didn't break canon with the Doctor knowing who the Daleks are, so thank God. But the Daleks know who the Doctor is, but they just know who the Doctor is regardless, so thank God. Although it is very, like, cliche drawn out, the whole, like, how do you know me? You are the Doctor. It's like, you are the Doctor. Yeah, how do you know me, though? You are the enemy of the Daleks. And then before any more information comes through, like, gets cut off by something else. It's like,
give me some of your thoughts at this point.
Fast Times. No, you. Oh, okay. I see how it is. Pixel is buying time because he is busy. Okay. My thoughts on Fast Times is that I think it is a good setup to what we can expect for this box set. The story itself, I thought, was fine. The cast in this story are fun. I liked them. The Daleks are pointless. I felt like they just needed to be there because they're Daleks. Honestly, you could have just swapped it out with tweak the story a bit and just make it still division agents trying to capture obviously the Doctor and everyone else. So take the Daleks out. Other than that, I think it's a fine intro to this box set.
What I was saying before the world decided to interrupt. For Fast Times, yeah, I feel like this is a fine story.
Is it a fast story though?
So I was actually looking.
It's not, because it's actually the second. It's the second shortest.
So,
okay. Yeah, it is, because the last one is the shortest.
I was looking on the Doctor Who Discord to go ahead and hear some conversation about this box set. And one of the major complaints that I saw is people didn't feel that this, for an episode called Fast Times, it was moving far too slow. And I was like, I don't know if I fully agree with that, because even though she is working, like, she gets captured, it's still constant. There's no real pause until they escape the Daleks once and for all, or seemingly escape the Daleks. And that's because she says, oh, well, I'll go ahead and pause. And then she realizes, wait a minute, something's wrong, and goes after her. So I don't think it's too slow of a story. I think it's a fine opener. It's a fine opening story. I like it fine. And that's my thoughts.
Yeah. It's a good introduction to the overall premise of the box set, of this series of the Fugitive Doctor being on the run from the Time Lords.
Yep.
Which then leads us into the legend of Baba Yaga. Damn, I didn't know they got Keanu Reeves, John Wick in here.
That would have been a better story.
That would have been so much fun. I saw the Doctor kill a man with a pencil. A fucking pencil.
Yeah.
But no, Legend of Baba Yaga.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm thinking. The Doctor gets captured by Division. It's like I want to come back to Division. Why? I think I'm back.
But, what do I think of this story?
Yeah, what do you think of this one? And you have Donna's mum as Baba Yaga.
Yeah. She was good. Her performance is good. She does a great job doing that voice. This story does not belong here. In a story about a fugitive doctor, there is no sense of, I need to rush. I'm on the run from the Time Lords. They're on my trail, because she's randomly having an adventure in the middle of the box set.
Now, granted, it is somewhat tied into trying to hide from Division, because the Baba Yaga can't be found. So she wants to know, what's this technology? What is this that I could use to keep myself hidden from the Time Lords? And Baba Yaga is like, I ain't gonna tell you.
That's so silly. Because
but yeah, it somewhat ruins, not really ruins, it slightly diverges, but not too far away from the track. So it's slightly off to the side, maybe in on a road. So there's the road, the road is the whole plot of on the run from Division. The Legend of Baba Yaga is in the gutter. So it's still technically on the road, but not really.
Yeah, not really.
Now,
and that's what I feel. I don't dislike any of the characters. I don't think it's a bad adventure. It's just, it doesn't feel like it belongs here. to go ahead and have a story. Oh, well, I need to find out how I can hide. And what happens at the end? She doesn't get anything. She gains nothing from this adventure.
Yeah, it ends up being somewhat pointless. And also the twist that it's a TARDIS, I felt like as soon as like I think what the one of the characters actually like mentions that like this is like when she goes into the Doctor's hut, it's like the like Baba Yaga's hut or something like that. It's like, oh, it's a TARDIS because there's the whole mention of like the Time Lords investigated and like the Time Lords died or the Time Lords crashed here and they're all dead. It's like, oh, it's a TARDIS, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is odd because the thing is, despite the flaws of this story, I actually somewhat enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it more than Fast Times?
Honestly, yeah.
I'm the opposite. I enjoyed Fast Times more. I actually
really enjoyed this, although I do think it's mainly bolstered by performances.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I found this was a fun story.
This felt like a Ninth Doctor adventure.
Oh, that's funny. I saw someone saying, like, once this came out, someone was like, please don't be 9 DAs. Please don't be 9 DAs. But then we come to our finale, The Dimension of Lost Things by Lisa McMullen. Hey, everyone was excited for Jo Martin as the Fugitive Doctor, but what if we got 2 of her? What do you think of that, Pixel?
I love this story. It's so good. It's fantastic. You have the Doctor saying basically she's going to break time and space to go ahead and escape from him. And where does she end up? In a dimension. The dimension of lost things. Oh, look, there's random cell phones. And I'm surprised they didn't mention finding one unmatched sock randomly just in the fields. But no, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. You have one of the people that try to climb Mount Everest, make it to the top, and they get lost on the way down. They fall into it. And this feels like the land where Amelia Earhart would end up as well. I love it. It's fun. It's fun. It's fantastical. It's interesting. And you have where the lost souls that end up there, they get this feeling that comes over them that nothing matters and they become these shadow people. But they find that there are some living people there and they get taken to the base camp that's been run by the Doctor. Yes, you think it's going to be a future incarnation. No, that's the big plot twist here. Because they're still on the run from Cosmo. Not from Fairly Odd Parents.
No.
Wanda, we gotta get him.
Not that Cosmo, more like Borg Queen herself, Alice Creek.
That's right. And you feel like there's a lot of action going on here. There's an interesting setting, and then you have the plot twist, which the future the future Fugitive Doctor isn't from the future. It's a past version of herself before her memories got wiped that's still working with Division, and she's going to go ahead and lock up the Doctor. It's ridiculous, but it's a fun ridiculous. And you do go ahead and get to tap into some of the memories that our Doctor may have lost here. Because you get a flashback when they're on the run going through basically this tunnel. And in the darkness, she gets flashes of a world that's being swarmed, which we remember from Flux. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Okay. And you go ahead and you get that moment. Is this real? Is this what's happening? And the other Doctor is being very vague about it. Ignore that. Let's get going. I really like this story. I really do. I think it's my favorite out of the box set.
Okay. I like the story. It's fun. That's all I can say. I liked it. It was fun.
That's all.
That's all. That's really all. I really don't have much to say about this. This final story. I did like it. I think it was fun. The cast, as always, was fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
But
so let's go ahead before we go ahead and give numbers. If we're going to rank these episodes, what's top? Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. Like, what's top of the order for you?
Top for me would be Legend of Baba Yaga.
Mine would be this one, The Dimension of Lost Things.
Yep.
Then I would go Fast Times, and then I would put Baba Yaga at the bottom.
Yeah, I would go Legend of Baba Yaga, Dimension of Lost Things, Fast Times.
Okay.
Although I do feel like Fast Times and Dimension of Lost Things are about same level.
Okay.
But overall, thoughts on the box set.
Overall thoughts on the box set. Hey, this is something we've been interested in for a while to see how they would do it. I think they did a solid job. Is it exceptional? No. I think that most of this is fine. And there are some great moments here, but this isn't the best box set that's come out. Well, yeah, no, this isn't even the best box set that has come out all this year. I don't think. What do we review at the start?
Living Darkness.
Yeah. Okay, I take it back. This is better than that. I'm sorry, Noonan.
Someone's not getting a mention on the Big Finish podcast. For me, I agree. I think this is a solid box set. It is solid in introducing us to this premise of the Fugitive Doctor being on the run from Division. As usual with Big Finish, I'm worried how long they're going to drag this out.
Here's my question. Did you listen to any of the interviews?
No.
Okay,
I forgot to. Yeah.
So I pretty much listened to the writers part of the interviews, and then Joe Martin's, and then I'm sorry for everybody else. Oh, Jacqueline King, I listened to hers too, but everybody else I kind of just tuned out. They said when they started with Fast Times that they asked Chris Chibnall, okay, well, when we meet the Fugitive Doctor, she's like this. So what happened? And Chris Chibnall told them, well, I think he wasn't committing to anything. And they said, okay, well, we're going to take this unknown premise and just push it onto the Fugitive Doctor. And that's how we'll get most of where we're going. I just hope that they answer questions. Don't beat around the bush. You can't drag us out too long.
Oh, this is Big Finish. Yes, they can. And they will. It was called Once and Future. That's my main concern, because much like I haven't listened to it, but that was The Death and Life of River song, where it's a box set where it's like, oh, River is back from the dead in like a robot body, and like that's the entire box set, and I'm like, that seems like a one story idea, and it seems like it's still continuing. So I'm like, this sounds like a premise that shouldn't be multiple box sets. Now, I would like multiple box sets of the Fugitive Doctor. I don't want multiple box sets of just the premise that she is just on the run from Division. Throw in some box sets of her time during Division, of like just doing whatever. No.
Yeah.
With her what's his name? The Lipari from Flux, who turned out to be it's like a Cass
something.
Yeah, like, because it was the whole revelation that he was the Doctor's companion, the Fugitive Doctor's companion.
But wasn't that like a thing that was not real? Because if you watch it,
but the big thing is he can't say anything because it would actually kill him. Like Division put something in his head where if he mentions anything about his time with Division with the Doctor, it would kill him.
I'm more of the idea that it's they should go ahead and put more Weeping Angel Division agents there. That's still the silliest idea, but when they did it in the one comic they did, it was actually like, okay, this seems interesting. This is, and keep doing things like that. You have to show both sides. So if, let's say, we go ahead and get more of early Fugitive chasing this Fugitive, which goes ahead and messes things up, but they seem to be able to bend the rules here and there. You might as well go ahead and have her be your own worst enemy. But I don't know. I think overall this is a fine box set. It's really going to matter in the next couple ones what happens there. Because,
or at least the next one.
I mean, they did a good job. That's the thing. I feel like at the end of this box set, they go ahead and give us a hint of something that she may have been through that's going ahead and trying to leak back into her mind. And that's enough to not feed us indefinitely, but that's enough to spark interest. At the end of the next one, you need to have a piece of information. You have to keep giving while we are asking these questions. You don't have to answer everything all at once, but you have to answer some things. Yeah, that's the key thing.
My problem is then we're just getting into Second Doctor adventures, which is like we just keep feeding more and more into the mystery, and it's like we're not getting any answers or any closer to an answer. It just feels like you're just artificially drawing this out so you can do more stories. I'm just hoping that the whole On the Run from the Division is not going to be the entirety of this box set. I also want like other stories with the Fugitive Doctor, and do not bring any classic villains into this. The Daleks in this were pointless. They did not need to be there. They were only there because memorable villain Nick Briggs voiced them and loves them. So, because they were pointless. There was no reason for Daleks to be in this. It literally adds nothing. So, I don't know. The closest you can get is anything that was tied to Division and Fugitive that we saw in Jodie's era. So, you can have Ood, you can have Weeping Angels, you can have the Lupari, you can have Swarm and Azor, or their species or whatever. You can have the Time Theatropos or whatever they were called. You can have all that. I don't want the Fugitive Doctor to randomly run into a Cyberman. I don't want that to happen. Okay. Because I feel like when they do something like this, it's just like it's an unknown period. We can do whatever we want, and it's like maybe don't do that. Maybe you should limit yourself, because sometimes when you limit yourself, you can be more creative. It's like with Doctor Who episodes where they have a limited budget. Look what you can do with a limited budget. You can actually make something really good. So limit yourself with ideas.
And when they go ahead and talk about in the interviews, they go ahead and say that the Fugitive is their doctor that's pretty much on the run from Division, which isn't promising. But they're saying that with that, they went ahead and leaned towards Third Doctor. One of his staples is that he's stuck on Earth for a large part of his run. He's not able to go ahead and leave randomly. And using things like that, they want to go ahead and lean into basically her being on the run. I think they should have started with some time in Division. But I also think that if they want to go ahead and they do want to expand this slightly, that you can split it between having past Fugitive and current Fugitive. Have two simultaneous goings on.
And if you want to connect them, connect them.
Mm-hmm.
because this last story connects the two. So I don't know. Also, last
TARDIS.
Yeah. Also, last point. They should have given her own theme.
I'm going to admit something to you right now.
What?
When they did the theme in here, it didn't sound like it does on television. To me, at least. I didn't have that weird warble outside of it that always sounds like what I say it sounds like. The white noise machines.
Yeah, but no, but it's yeah, they should have given her own theme instead of she also has 13th. Yeah, she's introduced during 13th era, but even then, War Doctor got his own theme, and he was introduced during 11s. Granted, when they do the old like titles, like on the covers, it uses 13's Doctor Who title logo. I mean 11's Doctor Who title logo, so that's because there is no classic equivalent to that Doctor. I mean,
agree,
you could use the Doctor Who movie one, but
I agree though. They should go ahead and use. They should have done a new theme.
They should have created an exclusive Fugitive Doctor opening theme for her.
They better create one for the Master and call me Master.
Oh, if it's just the 13th Doctor's theme again, oh god,
bad.
Oh, so that's gonna look bad if that's gonna look bad if they make one for him, but they didn't make one for Fugitive. It's like, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, you could always debate that one is, the Doctor and the other is the Master. But when they did
one is the main character of the show. It's not called Master Who.
I know, but but
anyway,
you also
rating.
But you also have no, I wanted to say one more thing. Don't cut me off. I wanted to say when they did Coda, they did the classic theme. And that was also a poor choice. They should have just introduced a new theme for the Fugitive then, I feel. But can't change what hasn't been done. Or has been done. Rating for the overall box set?
Yeah, we'll go overall instead of just episodes.
7. It's all fairly good.
It's solid. It's just, I don't know, this
it leaves you wanting.
It leaves me wanting more. Yeah, so 7 out of 10, but it's also not necessarily something where I'd be like, you've got to listen to this.
No. This is absolutely if you want to listen to it.
If you want to listen to this. This is
optional material.
But no, 7 out of 10. It is a solid start to this series. The entire cast is fantastic. I do feel like compared to Coda, the final act, because that's the only other comparison we can go off, I'm getting definitely a bit more of Jo as the Doctor, her Doctor. So hopefully that is at least fleshed out a bit more in the future stories and box sets. So, but I'm loving her performance. She's fantastic.
Yep. She brings a lot of energy to the role. Always has. So
always has.
It'll be good to see.
Yep, that is it for this review. Thank you everyone for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Almost forgot how to say that word. My memories of it. Division, where's my memories of how to say that word? No, but that is it. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.
Alonzi!